Tomorrow is your girl's birthday. She'll be turning 29. And you know what most people equate that to, right? The Saturn return. Yep. However, I want to approach you with a new perspective about the Saturn return, because most people, I don't even know. I thought the Saturn return was a moment, a second of time that collided and made your life crash, and then you have to pick up the pieces. But I was incorrect. It's a process. And what if I told you it actually starts at 26, not 29? And then it can happen between the ages 27 and 29. No. You're going to start seeing the intensity of the lessons starting at 26, right before Saturn enters the sign of the Saturn that you have. And then at 29, around 29 or around 28, there's a degree return. And I personally believe that when the Saturn, your natal Saturn matches the transiting Saturn, you're going to be going through an 8-month promotional, graduational experience. You got exams that you got to take. You got to get ready for graduation day. You got to pass all your classes. Your GPA matters. But you will step into the higher part of adulthood in the proudest way. Now, personally, my Saturn has been returning in my 12th house and also has been accompanied by my Sun and my Mars, which has given me an accelerated experience personally in my perspective. If you have Capricorn placements, or again, if you have any planets in the sign that's in the sign of your Saturn, I definitely believe you'll get a crash course and be able to have some fresh, I don't want to say fresh, but have some footing in what you're needing to advance in. And I think this is important because I was someone that was desperately looking for information about my Saturn return years in advance and freaking myself out. But I do want to say that you definitely have what it takes to survive, and everybody's Saturn return is different. But I would say that it's not going to happen at 29. It's going to happen through 27, specifically to 29. And 29 is the graduation phase. It's like your senior year. You're like, ain't it fun? Living in the real world. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't it good? Ain't it good? If you graduated in 2014, shout out to us, because we had Paramore make us such a great song to graduate to. Don't go crying to your mother. Anyway, I want to give some insights of some lessons that I was offered that were really tough, that because this whole time still I was like, oh my gosh, my Saturn's going to be returning. And it's like, girl, for the last 2 years, you've been in the Saturn return. And I'm like, oh, I thought that was just life. And it is, in a way, but here's some lessons. Well, one, before we even look at lessons, you must look at your 12th house, or excuse me, the house that Saturn is in. And must also see if there are any planets, asteroids, points that are accompanying Saturn, because those are going to be important figures that are going to be giving you the test. Important themes that the test will be around. So keep that in mind. And then on top of that, you're going to want to pay attention to what sign rules the planet that's also accompanying Saturn, and even looking at the sign that's accompanied by Saturn and what house that's in. So for instance, I have Sun and Mars also accompanying Saturn in the 12th house. So my Leo house is really important because the Sun is ruled by Leo, and also that's my 5th house. And then my my Aries house and my Scorpio house are really important because they both rule, Scorpio and Aries both rule Mars. So my 1st and my 8th house. And then Saturn is naturally ruled by Capricorn. So my 10th house and Capricorn are really important. Also, 11th house, because Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn. So my public image in my career, my networks and my online presence, my self-identity and my shared resources and debts, and also my expression, my creativity, my romantic life are going to be and have been big themes and lessons that have come in. And I think that's a really powerful thing to understand, with understanding what to pay attention to with Saturn. Not that you're going to be able to control that, but that you can have an understanding what to pull, where else you could pull from, because things happen externally, but they're also happening internally. So I would say some of my biggest lessons have happened in my career, in my business, and with authority figures. The sun also represents authority figures, leaders, and things of that sort. And I've had a lot of power struggles happen with authority figures where they're threatened by my power and try to undermine me. They stole my ideas. They've exploited me in many different fashions. So I've seen a lot of workplace and managerial issues with the jobs that I've taken on while working on my business. Being a business owner and working for a place is very powerful because you're not 100% dependent, and I've developed a lot of confidence, especially after going through my inverse nodal return, which everybody goes through right before their Saturn return. You're not just going to be thrown right into your Saturn return. There's going to be things that get you ready, test you, prepare you before. So I also want to make sure that you look at your inverse nodal return that happens at age 26, 27, and that typically gives you what you need, and like helps you really grasp whether it's confidence or learn how to surrender, if you have a Pisces South node during that time. Mine was Aries. I have an Aries South node, but it was the North node, which is that inverse energy. So I've had strong confidence, but my confidence has been really tested in the workplace, on online platforms. I was also on a dating show last year and I got ripped to shreds, but I'm very grateful for that experience because it helped me understand the construct of beauty, and knowing that preparation is what helps one feel confident, especially when it comes on the self-care regimen and things of that sort. I also dealt with a lot of exploitative experiences with people in power, people trying to oppress me, people feeling threatened, trying to take my power, trying to use my power for their advantage. I worked at the Hyatt House, and also a theme that I've been seeing is like the places I've been working at, that I've stayed at, I've seen constant changes within the managers. Like it was like constant, like no manager has been staying, and I've seen that happen in two environments particularly. But the last manager that I experienced before I left my bartending job in 2023, the person asked me to write up a proposal, and I gave several ideas in that proposal. I didn't understand, like, you need to make sure you have them sign an NDA. That's a part of the lesson. So I gave the proposal. She took it. She took what she liked and told me that they're not going to move forward with it, and that, she'll move along with her idea of like a calendar that I actually initiated. So I was just like, what the hell? Like, that was, I've had a lot of different type of coworkers try to sabotage me, and try to harm me, or, try to take my position, even though they were like in a different position. It's been weird. I was involved in a love triangle, hence to that romantic situation. A lot of different ones, where this one in specific, I was triangulated, and then my emotional property was taken and put on a song without my permission. We'll end this one here. This will be part 1, but stay tuned. This is a Saturn series, Saturn Return Process.